Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about how to take Cornell Notes. So, what do you know about Cornell Notes? Some of you have taken them before, some of you have never heard of them in your lives, and some of you have never taken notes. And so, we're going to learn the way that you're going to take notes in both English and history for the next 2 years in Marrakesh. We take what they call Cornell Notes. So, why Cornell Notes versus just taking notes? When a student takes no notes, they lose 50 to 80% of the material. When a student takes notes, they keep about 60% of the material, meaning they remember that much of the material. When a student takes organized notes and reviews them, which Cornell Notes forces you to do, they keep 90 to 100% of the material. This is proven by data. They have looked at the amount of students that use these types of notes and the success in their classes and remembering what they take notes on, and they are very effective. It works. So why is it important to take good notes? How can they help you? It's really important to take good notes because your teachers talk, you read, you listen to videos, and if you can't remember what you're learning, it's really, really hard to move forward and master those skills. So notes help you master the skills that you're working on in class. If you want to go to college later on, it's a really important skill because your teachers or your professors don't tell you what to write down. They don't tell you what to take notes on. You're responsible for knowing that and understanding what's important to know as you are in class or online. The advantages of taking Cornell Notes. So your notes are more organized. You're going to identify keywords and key concepts. Your notes are easy to read for yourself. These are notes that you make for yourself and that work for you, not that work for anybody else other than you. The notes can be easily used as a study guide for a quiz or exam preparation if that's the style of class that you are in. So eventually your notes are going to look like this. You have a right side, a left side, and a summary. And we're going to talk about what those mean in the next few slides. So the steps. There are 6 steps to taking Cornell Notes, and this is why they're so successful. Cornell Notes force you to look at your notes over and over again by doing these steps. So the first step is to set up or make notes. Then you're going to take the notes. You're going to refine your notes, ask questions, then write a summary, and then review them for whatever you need to review them for. In history, it might be a test. In English, it might be a Socratic seminar. In math, it might be a benchmark. It totally depends on what class you're in, on how you take notes and how you study for them. So here's how your Cornell Notes will be set up. You'll have your name, the topic, your notes on the right side, your questions on the left, and your summary at the bottom. You can do this on a piece of paper. Sometimes teachers will give you fill in the blank notes. Sometimes they'll make you just do it on a piece of paper. Sometimes they'll give you a template that you can fill in. So the first thing, the right side, you're going to take notes. You want to take down any important information that you think you're going to need to know later. So that might be what the teacher writes down. It might be what the teacher says. Anything that's repeated multiple times is probably important. Focus on gesturing, numbering, pausing. If your teacher pauses, they're giving you a chance to write that thing down. So just pay attention. And if you're taking notes in a book, that might look really different. It might be looking at the sections of the book. It might be looking at the main characters of the book. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on in English. After you take your notes, so you have your right side done, you're going to refine your notes. So this is when you look over your notes and you make them make sense to you. A lot of times we're writing down so fast everything that's being said or everything that we're reading that we kind of can't make sense of our own notes. So this is where you go back and you highlight key terms, you square things, you circle things so the notes make more sense to you. They're not just like one big long paragraph of writing that you have to reread over and over again. Then on the left-hand side, so we have our notes, we've refined our notes, and now we're going to write our questions on the left-hand side. So a little different than true Cornell Notes. On the left-hand side for Marrakesh, you can ask questions. Those can be questions that can be answered right on the notes. It can be questions that can't be answered by the notes, like deeper questions. It can be higher order thinking if that is what you want, or it can just be making sure that you check your understanding or you ask questions that you think could be on the quiz or test if that's the class model. In this left-hand side, you can also draw pictures and make connections. Drawing pictures is a really good way of remembering what you're trying to learn and give you a visual representation of your notes. The second to last step is writing a summary. So this is where you condense and encapsulate your entire set of notes. So this has two parts. You should have 2 to 4 big ideas from the notes, depending on how long the notes are. And then you're going to connect these notes to your personal experience in some way in this summary. And we're going to work on summary writing in English. And so you have a better idea of what this looks like. The last step of Cornell Notes and good note taking is looking at them. There is no point in taking notes if you never look at them again, which is why Cornell Notes are so successful. It makes you look at them multiple times. So short, fast, frequent reviews produce better understanding and recall. And again, this totally depends on this type of class that you're in. In English, we don't have very many tests, but you might want to look over your notes to help you with the discussion that we have in class surrounding what you read or surrounding what we discussed or watched in class or at home. So we're going to practice this in English class, and you'll also be taking notes in all of your classes. This is something that you can use across all of the curriculums that you're in. It depends on which class that you're in, how your notes might look, and we can talk about that later on. Thank you. Good luck with your Cornell Notes.